just stand here and talk to you guys and hope I don't have bread. Okay? Be purposeful. Here's one other thing. How many in the room are parents? Okay, wow. All right, here's one other thing that I started to practice a long time ago, and I'm very glad I did, and for you guys if you want to do it. But what I did was, during this time, I started to journal to my kids. So this is one of the books. I've got 3 of them. And not every day, but maybe every other day or once a week, I would journal to them. And my kids' names are Luke and Mallory. And I would tell them in this journal, you know, what we were going through and how we were going to try to get out of it. And it could be that. It could be like I did a father-daughter dance with my daughter for a long time. So like there's one of the flowers that we got, you know, and all that. There's a lot of stuff in here. When, just being really frank, if there's certain times where my wife and I are butting heads, I've written about that. There was a team leader down in Daytona. I don't think we ever got to meet a very special guy by the name of Michael Levy. Michael died in a plane crash. Ray Lopez knows him very well. There's stuff in here about Michael, who I thought was a very special guy. So, guys, just something the kids know. They can't look at this until the youngest one is 25. Because there's some serious stuff in here. And if they looked at it younger than that, it wouldn't register. Their minds wouldn't get it. But it's been a practice that's been good for me, and I think that the kids will appreciate it when they're old enough to understand. So, something to think about. Do you guys have any questions or anything that you want to run by me? I pretty much know from Brooke. I do have one thing I want to do before we leave. I want to interview someone. But I already got that person. But any questions or anything you want to talk about, or any? Doesn't matter. Yes, sir.
You talked about one of the biggest challenges with contract with business owners, no longer having the pre-determined time restrictions of whoever your employer was.
Okay.
Right. So how was the way to do it?
So again, guys, just so I show this to you, just so you understand. So when I talk about time blocking, all right, if you look, okay, there's my calendar for this week. I show that to you. If I click on moving forward, if I go to next week, right? If I go to December, the lead generation, the things that I need to do, they're already in there. It's important for me, like Luke, you run a brokerage. Are you still selling too? It's even more important, okay? Because you guys are serving multiple masters, if you will. You've got different customers, you've got family things, you've got things going on that you're doing. The time blocking thing, much like the 135, if you're not doing that, if you're not time blocking, here's what you are. Here's the analogy. This isn't me. You're a leaf that's falling off of a tree. You're on the ground, and anywhere the wind blows, that's where you're going. The problem with that is if on your 135, you want to be at the end of that room right there, touching that window, if you're just going wherever the wind blows you, you're screwed. You're never going to get there. You're just never going to get there. Okay? Now, I can't sit up here and look you in the eye, because what Keller Williams preaches is that you lead generate for 3 hours a day in the morning, usually, so you can get this stuff done. I get it. Certain things pop up. But not every day. Not every day. Okay? So, in order, again, real estate, like I've been honestly, you guys have got 4,000 agents, like no joke, like that many. What does every new agent say? Why do you want to get into real estate? I love the freedom, I love the flexibility, and you can make good money. I've got to do this right so the right finger with the wrong finger doesn't stay up there. But if you want freedom and you take it, and you want flexibility and you take it, which you'll do if you don't have a 135 and you don't time block, why in the world would you think you're going to make any money? It's not going to work. This is not going to work. And what I tell people with different levels of experience in this room, if you worked for Shands and you were supposed to come in at 8 and you left it, you're supposed to leave at 5, you're coming in at 8 and you're leaving at 5. Because somebody that holds a paycheck over your head, and if you don't do it, you're going to get fired and you're going to lose that money. You're more married to that than you are holding your own schedule and yourself accountable. Because if you're holding yourself accountable, you're more likely to blow off that 8 if it means coming in here and starting the regeneration than you would be blowing off Shands. Because you know you'll get fired eventually. It's the wrong way to think. Because you can make a lot more money in this than you can with Shands. And I get it. You can't do it every day. It's tough. I can't look you guys in the eye and say I regenerate every single day. So thank you for the question. But if you don't time block, you're a leaf in the wind or whatever blows. Oh, by the way, I won't do this. This is what I do in Jacksonville, but I won't do this here. If I said, everybody give me your calendar right now. Thank you for your honesty. I know this. I know what I'm going to see. I'm probably not going to see that. I'm probably going to see this. 1:30 today, I got a vet appointment. Got to take the dog in. 5:30, I might have a nail appointment. Or I might go work out. But for most in this room, I'm going to see empty spaces, or I'm going to see personal things that you have to get done that may or may not have to do something with work. That just means you're putting that stuff ahead of what you do. However, if you have a big why, because you have to create a lifestyle for your family, or whatever it may be, that will outweigh that vet appointment. Because if you're working at Shands and they didn't let you off, you'll figure out something how to do that vet appointment. Just you'll let yourself down every time because nobody's holding you accountable. Long-winded things.
That freedom thing is big. You know, when I talk to people, about that, it always brings up this quote that I heard Dilworth say at one point. He said, we do have freedom, but there's two freedoms that we hear. There's the freedom to do what we ought, and the freedom to do what we want. And it's all about choosing the right one. Freedom to choose what we should do versus freedom to choose what we want. And much more often, when you have that freedom, people are much more inclined to choose what you want. Like you said, when you have the why, you're more likely to choose the things that you should do, what you really want based on the why is that important.
Yeah, that why's got to be deep. And I'm going to tell you this too. Some of you will start, and this is okay. You might put, I want to make $100,000. That's not your why. That's not strong enough. Your why would be, what is the $100,000 if you do make it allow you to do? That's what your why is. Make sense? Okay, that's a good question. Any other questions? Good. All right, we're going to do something. This is totally off the cuff. And please give me your first name again. Bethany. Okay, Bethany. Here's how we're going to do this. Again, not planned. This just literally happened 5 minutes ago. And we're going to take 5 minutes to do this. I'm totally putting her on the spot. She doesn't even know what
I was like, I don't know what to say.
because you don't know what I'm going to ask. So one of the reasons that we do this, guys, is for growth. This whole thing has been about growth. Whether it's doubling your business, that's growth. Whether it's enhancing relationships, getting in better shape, this is all about growth. But here's what I know, is that most of us won't make the change. We'll go back to our old habits because we're afraid to step out of the box and grow. It's just too hard. It's not, but it's just too hard. Okay. So let's talk about growth personally. All right. I made a mention of something earlier, and you caught it. I said with my son, I said something about wrestling, self-defense. And then you heard me say something else about a charity. which is Alex's lemonade stand.
Yeah.
So this is very interesting. What did you ask me out in the hall?
I walked up to you and I said, do you practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
Right, and I do. So she made that connection, and I understand why she made that connection, because there's something going on in Jacksonville that those two things come together. So what are you doing? Are you practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I am practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay, so, yeah.
All right.
So this just came up. Now, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, guys, think of it this way. For those of y'all that don't know what it is, think of it as collegiate, not WWE, jump off the top rope fan, not that. Think of it as collegiate wrestling. Very hard, very grinding. It takes a tremendous amount of stamina, okay? But the way you win, you don't win by pinning somebody down and having their shoulder blades on the mat. You win by making them submit, and they submit by a choke or arm bar, knee bar, whatever it may be, okay? So it's tough. This is not easy. How long have you been doing it?
About 9 months.
Okay. Now keep in mind that the majority of people that do this are men. Just what most women want. A bunch of guys on top of them sweating, facial hair, chest hair, all this stuff. Like, most women are not going to do this. Like, they're just not, okay? Sometimes for guys, I'm like, God, get off me. So anyway, what did you ask? What are you going to do? What are you thinking about doing? Or what are you going to do?
Yeah, so one of the things that Team Dynamo does, which is the team I'm on, is encourages us to make vision boards, which aligns with your talk today. So we have goals, and I put a goal on there that terrifies me, which is to compete in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I have family in Jacksonville, so I was looking to compete in Jacksonville, and the competition's coming up in May, where they're fundraising for Alex's lemonade stand. And I thought, I don't know if I feel comfortable asking people for money for something I don't know nothing about. I want more information on this charity. I hadn't looked into it yet though. So then I came in today and he said Alex's lemonade stand, and when he said self-defense, I'm like, this guy does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for sure. So I asked him like his thoughts on the charity and if it's, something that he could vouch for, and he said yes wholeheartedly. So that was almost my sign, like this is the right thing to do. So I will be posting about that soon, but fundraising. So if you fundraise $250, you can compete for free. And normally competitions cost about $100. So that was a hurdle too to me, because I'm like, I'm gonna put myself out there and fight some chick I've never met in my life for $100. Like, that's crazy. So competing for free, raising money for charity, that's like meaningful, and really putting myself out there. It's terrifying, but also exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not off that easy. All right, so what I thought about here is this. First of all, let's give her a hand. Second of all, if you find it compelling enough, let's give her some money. Because it is going to a great cause. I can tell you that, pediatric cancer. But the third thing is this, guys. This is the epitome of growth. It doesn't get any more raw than this. This is going to be, this isn't going to do you well right now, but I've just got to do this.
It's okay.
This is one person and another person stepping out on a mat with people watching, and the way you win or the way you lose is you have to submit. Okay? So we bring in ego, we bring in fear, we bring in not only fear of looking stupid around your friends, fear of getting possibly injured, because this is not a joke. All right? So you're stepping out, like this is growth as pure as growth can be. Because if somebody doesn't lead generate today, nobody's going to say a word. There's something funky and it happens on that mat. Oh, people are going to talk. They're going to talk. It's just the way it's going to be. So this is growth at its purest. And obviously I'm married to this sport. I've done it for a long time, but I can't congratulate you. Here's my advice for you. You ready?
Yeah.
Because here's what's going to happen. You're not gonna fight somebody that looks like you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
This always happens, you guys. Here's who you're gonna fight. Yep. And they're going to, no offense to anybody on this, but they're gonna have, not at the time, but they're gonna have earrings everywhere. They're gonna be tatted up. They're gonna have a funky haircut, and you're gonna go like, oh my God, she grew up fighting. She has 47 older brothers that always beat her up. She's gonna be so tough. I'm never gonna win. That's what's gonna happen. But here's my suggestion. Don't think about any of that. None of it. None of it. Just think about what you do well and try to do that. But don't get in your mind like, oh my God, she's 6 foot tall. Oh my God, she's got 47 tattoos. No, don't worry about that. Just what do you do well and focus on that.
Awesome. And for anyone ever seriously considering it, like, it's honestly one of the most empowering things I've ever done. It's awesome. It's not like other sports where you can walk in and look at someone and go, they're a basketball player, they're a volleyball player. There's not that like huge physical advantage. It's almost like you just learn how to use your body to your advantage. And I love that individuality of it. And I find it very empowering. So I highly encourage anyone to try it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Note to you and Chris. Note to you and Chris.
Yes.
In about 12 months.
Yes.
Just agree with everything she said.
I agree with a lot of what she says now.
Great job. I'm good. Nobody else?
Does anybody else have anything from Mark that they want to ask or bring up or anything? All right. Well, as a Market Center Mark, we want to thank you for taking the time away from your family, from your Market Center, from your business to come invest in us. And I appreciate you guys doing the exact same thing because you could have been at something else today too. And you chose to do this, and hopefully we get from that board that my big takeaway from today is there are a million things out there that can teach you the how-tos of real estate, whether it's real estate coaches or whether it's the next podcast or the next book. But I think that Mark really drilled down the why today and how important the why is, and that's what I'm going to take away from it. And yes, we have each other to be accountable to when it comes to the why. And I will also tell you this, and I've been coaching for a long time. The more people that you share your why with, the more likely you are to be successful. Okay? Because the people that are around you and the people that do believe in you and that invest in you, they're the ones that are going to be your cheerleaders. Those are the ones that are going to be what I call your balcony people. If you haven't read Balcony People, you need to read that because Mark's one of mine.
Appreciate you coming as well.
Great. Make sure you thank Wanda too. She's going to be in the office, I think, for the rest of the day at least. And I'm